That hurt. More verticality. Recording in progress. All right. Should I stay or should I go now? That is the question we're going to take on today. Here on the Straight Red Card. Thank you for joining, subscribing, liking, hitting the bell, and all that other shit. Now let's get the turd in. The turd in the background today says, the Straight Red Card is back for another live stream. This is the only U.S. men's national team show that goes live on Monday and Thursday every week from 8 to 10 while cussing and making ball jokes. Donka. Yes, thank you, turd. We really appreciate it. And you can go to our store and you can get the turd in the background shirt. There is one there. Yeah, believe it or not. And my batch of samples for all of our stuff are in the mail to me, Brett. So I'm going to get them soon. I'm going to wear one on one of our shows here coming up soon.
You need to tell me how to do that.
You just go in there with our.
I guess let me rephrase that. You're going to have to tell me the login information again.
Okay. It's not that hard.
I think I know what it is, though.
Yes. It's the usual.
The password's 1234, right?
Password 1 2 3 4.
That's the same password I got on my luggage.
Well, I want to apologize to all of the people who thought that me almost dying, was going to be shark related. Sure, it wasn't, but I've always been afraid of sharks, so that was never going to be the case, that I was bitten by a shark. But boy, that would make it a lot more applicable to my fear of sharks.
What's funny is I mentioned working at the Blue Heron last show with the knife going in my foot. The first month I actually worked there, I was running around trying to get all the dishes done because I worked the tank initially. And I came around a corner and super slippery, slipped. My foot went up, hit the underside of the dessert cart. But that dessert cart cemented down into the ground.
Oh,
so right above my ankle, I just smacked it underneath, 90-degree angle on a metal cart. And I'm like, fuck, just it hurt like hell, I'm looking down, I'm like, nothing seems wrong, but I'm like, man, it's really sore. And go back to working, and 5-10 minutes later, I look down, and my sock is just soaked in blood. So I pull the sock off, I take a look, and I've got this gash right across my, just above my ankle, on in between my ankles, just like right on top of the foot, more or less. And, take an alcohol pad. I'm like, oh, this is going to suck. And it soaked up all the blood, didn't actually sting or anything because never actually touched the wound. And I've got this scar there now. And I always tell people that I got it from a shark attack while surfing in Australia.
Of course.
Because things like this big is like 2 to 3 inches long.
Have you ever been to Australia?
Fuck no.
Of course not.
But I mean, the sharks in Greece just aren't as impressive.
Greece.
I have been to Greece.
Well, there have been sightings of sharks outside of Greece, actually.
I'm just saying they're not impressive.
There's some great whites floating around there now, apparently.
And
Mediterranean,
really?
Yes, in the Mediterranean. They're not unheard of to show up there. So, especially during, I believe, the summer months. So, I wouldn't go fucking around even in that water. But hell, I can barely swim in a lake because I'm afraid of snakes. So, but I do it because I figure I can survive a water snake, but not a great white shark. Oh, by the way, I didn't even mention this in the story, but one of the worst parts of the story is even after the operation, I had to wear grown-up diapers for a long time because what the eagle claws did on my testicles was basically
I forgot all about that. Stop talking about that.
It left gaps so it could drain out the infected stuff. That was the worst part. That was with putting on new diapers for a month. That sucked balls, honestly. Ugh, okay.
It didn't suck, and just
let's take. So you want to take some questions? Let's start with some questions.
Okay.
Or do you want to start with the Grant versus Tack nonsensory?
Well, we can start with that too because I got Pete's response up here as well. Although as well, I don't have tax.
Yeah.
I would have to dig in and find text, which I could do.
By the way, we used to be friends with Brant, so it's not like
We may still be friends, but I don't know.
I don't know. No, we could still be. I don't know. People would probably say we suck if we were, but but yeah, he was a very nice guy. He came on our show in the old days, and tried to respond to Bill Archer's comments at the time. And for those of you who don't know, Bill Archer was a big writer on Big Soccer at the time. The biggest writer, I would say. I mean, I think his stuff pulled in more than anybody else's. And I can't remember what he was saying about Grant. I know he re-explained it to us, but we were all so trashed by that time because he was on for like, what, 2 hours, 3 hours?
Yeah.
This is recently. So this was last year we had Bill Archer on the show. I'm sure if you go back and check our catalog and put in Bill Archer, you'll find the show. And yeah, we just talked soccer for 3 hours and old time and old school stuff and what it was like working at Big Soccer and why it died off and all that jazz. All right. You going to make me continue to pontificate here?
Yep. Keep vamping, man. I'm in the time frame. I just need to find it.
Okay. Well, in the meantime, I am glad that the NHL finals are over because the two teams that played, number one, don't give a fuck about. But the names of the teams, what is it? The Avalanche and the Lightning. No team should be able to name their team after a disaster like Lightning.
What about Chicago Fire?
I think you could maneuver that, right? And
if it has a very meaningful significance about your city, I guess.
Yeah, I guess it could be like a historical thing that happened, and that did happen in Chicago. Whereas, what is it? The Tampa Bay Lightning? Hey, dumb fuckers, lightning happens everywhere. There's nothing special about lightning. All right, nothing at all. An avalanche, at least I get it. You got mountains in Colorado, and sometimes there's an avalanche, I guess. But you couldn't come up with anything better than that. I mean, that's weak sauce. And then all these teams even at MLS, we have the San Jose Earthquakes. The fuck? You're going to name your team after a natural disaster? To me, that seems stupid. But a lot of people are doing that now. So I hope that ends and we can get back. I mean, we don't all have to name our teams FC and SC and United. I mean, that can change. You can do all kinds of things. Like we named the first version of the Indy team Racing Indy.
Yeah, I have the shirt still.
Yeah,
it was one of 3 shirts that were purchased.
And we just sort of stole the idea from Racing in South America, and we're like,
it fit both ways because of Indy's history with racing. So
right, and that's kind of why we did it.
Yeah,
because you could steal Racing, you bring over to the United States. They're all going to pronounce it Racing, but so it is kind of a steal, but it's a steal with a twist, right? Because nobody's going to pronounce it Racing. The turd in the background says, "What's really weird, in the Japanese league, Hiroshima team goes by the A-bombs." Ooh. The A-bombs. Well, yeah, that's probably distasteful. I don't think that's true. That was a bad one. Bad boy, turd. Bad boy. Not a good one. That was a horrible, horrible thing that happened at the end of World War II. And it didn't, we can get into this debate some other time. We're not going to do it here, but it didn't really have to happen.
Oh, it did.
True or not true? What are your thoughts?
Leave your comment down below.
Yeah.
All right, so I've got it. So just to give a little background before I pull up the tweets.
Mm-hmm.
Grant Wall posted a comment. He says, "Think this has flown under the radar that the U.S. men have a winner-take-all berth of the 2024 Olympics on the line this Friday night." And so he posted that, and some people responded to him basically saying, "Yeah, no duh,
no shit. What's your insight?
Hasn't flown under our radar, And then he quote tweets himself, and I think did we talk about this on Monday? Because I feel like
We
went over this.
must have.
But he replies and says, the reply guys can turn the most innocuous and accurate tweets into bad faith exercise. And so Tactical's response, and this is just going into their little shared beef.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, "Do you ever not play the victim?"
Ooh. Ow.
So I'm going to take this as two things here. One, great on Grant Wall for unblocking everybody.
Yes.
Two, I'm guessing he, instead of blocking, he's probably taken our advice, not necessarily from us, but probably from other people, and just started muting people.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to block people because it shortens, especially for Grant Wall, who's an independent journalist at this point. It shrinks your possible market share, and you want to have everybody, even the people who don't like you, reading your shit.
Yeah. I mean, I just would say to Grant on this, I'm glad he's making the announcement that there's this big thing coming up. I mean, which is big to some and not big to others. Everyone's seen on their shows a drop off of viewership during this, right after the U.S. window was done. I don't think as big a group of people care about the U20s or Olympics or the U20 World Cup. So,
No.
So I can see why he might say, "Hey, heads up, this is going on." That makes sense. But
I've got family and a group. I've got family who watch soccer, and I've got a group of friends that all watch soccer. And I can tell you that none of them know anything about the U20s. I actually told my parents today about the hysterical aspect of the fact that we're going to have a CONCACAF, a team from CONCACAF that's playing in the Olympics. That's either going to be Guatemala or Dominican Republic.
That's crazy.
Think about that. That's insane.
And maybe Guatemala's not as bad as we thought they were. I don't know. They beat Canada, then they beat Mexico. Maybe
they held Mexico at bay. I mean, the goalkeeper ended up. Well, I mean, he ended up making a lot of PK saves during the PK shootout and everything, but he ended up making like 4 PK saves.
That's crazy though for a country like Guatemala, as small as they are, and with as little resources as they have, to do this well in a U20 World Cup. I don't know what it means, but if I were Mexico, I'd certainly be embarrassed. I mean, if I were Canada, I'd be fucking embarrassed. I mean, everyone had rated Costa Rica way better than Guatemala in this U20 setup. And yet, Costa Rica, I don't want to say easily, but we comfortably won the game, whereas Canada got crushed, and then Mexico got squeaked by, And I guess if I were Grant, all I would say to him on this particular thing is have something insightful to add to just announcing that a game's happening. Because most people who care already care. And I don't know. It
would have been just as efficient if he said, let's go, boys. Let's beat Honduras on Friday.
Yeah.
That Olympics,
Yeah, that would work too. And if somebody says no shit, Sherlock, I would just say, "Hey, I'm
rooting on the boys." Yeah,
I'm just letting people know there's a game coming. Go USA or whatever, And I think that would have alleviated it. But man, fucking Tack just gave a big junk punch there. He's like, bam, right in the nuts.
Well, and I sent you this one, so you're fully aware of that. But I'm assuming you have not seen Pete's response, have you?
No, I have not. I'm not on Twitter. No fucking clue.
All right, so here's Pete's response. So that's because mainstream media like you have barely even mentioned it. Independent media have been all over this, or all over it.
Yeah, yep.
I was gonna say, and then Pete got a little bit of pushback by some people saying that, well, Grant Wall's independent. Like, well, is he really?
He wasn't.
Like 20 years of working with like Sports Illustrated and
I mean, he might be independent, but he still knows who his keepers are. And when I say keepers, I don't mean goalkeepers. He knows he can't say anything awful because he knows the gatekeepers, and the gatekeepers will ban his ass eventually if he keeps being, too critical. So, and everyone admits to that when we have him on the show. We asked Jimmy that. He said yes. My God. Straight red card, aka toxic reply guys. Are we toxic when we reply? No. Brett does all the replying. So I only
Yeah.
reply toxically on the YouTube page, and I rarely do that. I'm usually pretty nice. Sometimes I want to junk punch somebody, but I don't. Now, more recently, I'm kind of let go of that. But yeah, so I mean, just to cover that, yeah, it's really interesting that the U.S. is going to end up, we've already qualified for the U20 tournament. We are having to play maybe a tougher team than the other two teams in the group.
Well, I mean, in theory, though, Canada should have been there. Jamaica should have been moving on. Mexico should have been moving on. So the other group should have had, not as challenging, or maybe even as challenging.
Yeah, you're thinking Mexico, Canada, or something like that.
Yeah,
for the semis.
Mexico, Jamaica. It doesn't matter either way, I guess. It couldn't have been Mexico, Canada. Didn't they both play Guatemala? Yeah. No. Who did Canada lose to?
Guatemala, and then Guatemala went up and played Mexico and beat them too. So
it would have been Jamaican, Mexico.
I don't think so. Well, I don't know. Anyhow, the point is that we've got Dominican Republic. That is huge. Like if you would have said Haiti, I would have been like, okay, Haiti. I get it.
That was nuts, yeah.
They have some good players, but I mean, unless there's some sort of new generation coming up to Dominican Republic, which I guess I better study. That's really surprising. It's really surprising. All right. Anything else?
Yeah. While we're on the U20s here, Stephen Goff is reporting that the discipline has been handed out to U.S. and Costa Rica U20 post-game incident. USA's Cade Cowell will be suspended for 3 matches, including Friday's semifinal. That includes the final and then the first match of the U20s.
No big loss. I'm sorry, I'm such a dick.
We haven't been Cade Cowell's biggest fans this tournament.
Nah, you got other guys that can start, and you could throw Sullivan in the middle and then play Aronson and Clark as the wings. So I think we're fine either way.
You can even throw Luna up at the wing. So,
yeah, you can. You can play him as a false 9 or whatever you want to do.
Multiple options available to you.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's kind of crappy because Cade, his biggest crime was the fact that he, I guess, taunted the Costa Rican players. Although I think people were saying that he was waving to the fans.
Okay. And then the
Costa Ricans, a lot of mixed. Yeah, and then he got into a bit of a scuffle with the guy who came at him at first. But then I don't know. I think it's a little harsh, but I guess you kind of have to hand it out. If you're CONCACAF, I guess.
I don't know. In my day, that wouldn't count for anything. But
the big thing is that Costa Rica has 2 players that are suspended for 6 games and 7 players that are suspended for 3 games. Now, of course, that doesn't mean a whole hell of a lot of shit unless that carries over to the senior, which I imagine it will. But even then,
I don't. Yeah, because 2 of the Costa Rican players do play.
The 20s are going to be over soon. They're out of the Olympics, so I mean, it's not like they carry that over anywhere.
Yes, but 2 of those U20 players also play for the big boy team in Costa Rica. So I don't know if either of those 2 were involved, and I only got to watch the Rumble once, so I didn't get to rewatch it. And then I had to go back and wait to rewatch the fucking game because of VIX and fucking FS2 being the only places you could watch.
It was on TUND or TUDN. I sent you that.
Nope. Not on my TDUN, it wasn't. Maybe I missed it. Or maybe I don't get TDUN. I thought I did, though.
Advertising. So. Apparently, Chambers said Cade was having issues with the ref, too. So maybe it's sort of like escalated up and CONCACAF said, hey, you can't do that to the ref or whatever the fuck it was. Either way, if we had to lose somebody in our offense going into the semifinal here, I think I'm okay with who we lost. I think maybe Tyler Wolf would be the only other one that would have been. Yeah,
I would have been fine with that too. By the way, this is Stephen Goff reporting that. Okay, you said Grant Wall.
No, I said Stephen Goff.
Did you?
Yes.
I heard Grant Wall.
You hear a lot of things.
Too many drugs. All right. What else we got?
Well, I know.
What?
Again, ruined the joke, damn it. God damn it. I swear to God.
You already showed me that one last time.
No, I didn't. This one's different.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate you coming through with us on this one.
It's too small. I can't see it. You need to go one
Hold on.
size bigger. That's
Chris Gary says, yeah, Cade called the ref a silly goose. And it turned out the ref
Oh,
was the Facebook moderator.
yep. I know. Got immediately yanked for that. There we go. Let's see. What does the word say though?
Oh,
I didn't-
he said, ask and you shall receive. Derek, when we beat England.
I just watched two other guys' shows today who had us finishing third in the group. All right. And I'm like, God damn it. I mean, you're an American. You can't be that pessimistic.
Derek, you missed the CONCACAF feeds?
I did not. I mean, I do, yes, because at least it was on fucking someplace I could watch.
At least you could watch the game, yeah.
Yeah, now you can't. Now it's on some shitty thing called VIX, which apparently you have to put this big fucking screen up your rectum, and then you have to poop it out, and that activates the screen. I don't know. I've never heard of this VIX thing ever in my life. Sounds stupid. All right.
Okay, so Adam Wiggins says, how about that golazo from Ferreira last night? Now, did you watch that? Have you seen that goal?
Yes, it was nice.
Okay.
It's in the Golazo territory.
I mean, it's a fantabulous goal. It's just it's granted to him by bad goalkeeping.
Well, that's for sure. Yes, but it's a yeah. Go ahead and play it. I think we can get away with doing it on Twitter.
Okay,
I think if we yanked it straight from YouTube,
we'll do it real quick here.
Yeah, here we go. Boop. Some horrible ass goal.
So yeah, so the goalkeeper's like already cheating a little bit, and I don't know if Ferreira noticed that or not, or if this was just a bad cross. I think he saw him cheating, and was like, maybe I can get away with this. As he kicks it, he cheats a little bit more, and all of a sudden he's like, oh shit! I realized that he's shooting on goal. Fuck.
The other direction, and then it's too late. That is just horrible goalkeeper. No goalkeeper should be scored on, especially that's not even a rocket. That's a looper. All right? That's not even a rocket. That's a fucking looper. That's not who's the Brazilian guy who curled around the wall from 35, 40 yards out. Carlos. Yeah. Roberto Carlos.
Yes, thank you.
That's not what's his face from Bayern Munich who pulled off one of the most awesome kicks ever. He was the midfielder there. I can't remember anything again tonight. God damn it. Although I did remember Roberto Carlos, so I'll give myself some credit there. Lothar Matthäus. If you've never seen one of the greatest free kicks ever, bending free kicks, look up Lothar Matthäus. I'm not going to spell that for you. Just bam.
I mean, the funny thing is he didn't actually start cheating again until the kick occurred. So it's like he sees it lofting up, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to go get that," and then it's lofting up to the goal, and it's like, "Oh shit!" I think the fact that it was a lofted kick probably faked the keeper out more.
Well, just look at all his teammates. They're not even there. They all have that expression on their face.
Does that just go in?
Yeah. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me? You couldn't save that shit? Really? So is it a golazo? It's more like a falazzo because the keeper fucked it up. Yeah. So it's a little bit in the in-betweener stage. It doesn't mean he's our number 9 in the World Cup yet. Although I hope he just continues doing this. I do hope he continues scoring. We need somebody scoring.
Jonathan, I'm pulling your comment up because I've got to give it props.
Lothar of the Hill people.
Back when SNL was actually funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
I'm Lothar of the Hill people.
Oh, well, speaking of which, of strikers, PFOC moves officially today to Union Berlin, which my mom will like because that's like one of her favorite teams. She likes Hertha Berlin.
It was almost perfect timing.
Union Berlin winning the UCL confirmed. I think the first time you texted me the rumor a week ago, I thought
your response was, "Well, that'd be nice."
It'd be nice, but I wasn't sure that it was really going to happen. But I guess, I mean, the coach is Swiss. All right, that doesn't hurt. The manager's Swiss, so I'm sure he's been keeping an eye on the Swiss league, and He knows this guy is the Golden Boot winner from the Swiss League, and I just hope that, well, they do kind of play in a style that works for him. They do a lot of crossing. They're not really good enough to like be a pure countering team. So when they get it down the other side, they do a lot of crossing into the box. They're really relying on set pieces to score, and that's kind of his bread and butter. So we'll see what happens. Could be good move for Pflock, but I think he's going to have to score. He's got a higher chance however, of scoring many goals than Pepi. Pepi's still going to be fighting an uphill battle against other guys, whereas Union Berlin just lost their best striker, right?
Yeah.
So Pflock's got opportunities, whereas
Pepi just scored a goal. That's all he needs to start it. It's just open the door for his confidence, start oozing in.
He was a tapper though.
Doesn't matter. A goal is a goal is a goal, man. You as a striker, man, you go through a funk and you get your first goal.
I just talked about having this medical issue, and I never once used the word ooze or funk. What's wrong with you? All right.
Did I say ooze at all?
You did say
funk.
You said ooze too. Ooze. Just need to open up a little gap and ooze.
Oh, so ooze. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Gross. All right. Next question. We have
go deal with your eagle claws.
Ugh. Makes me want to scream right now.
Hey, we're entering about 25 minutes in, man. You want to jump into the conversation of Pulisic at this point?
Yeah, we always give it a little time. So here's the summary: Lukaku out, out, Ziyech maybe out, probably out. Werner on the table to be out.
Could be out, yeah.
Rafinha in, Raheem Sterling in. Whoa. But if Ziyech and Werner go, Pulisic just ends up fighting like he did with Ziyech and Werner for minutes, right?
Well, yes, exactly. But interesting thought process I was having when I was looking through all the ins and the outs is especially if Werner goes. Now, mind you, I guess I should probably lead with this. The rumor of Pulisic heading to Juventus, possibly heading to Juventus, is a trade trade like for like with cash. Juve would send over De Ligt, and Chelsea would send over either Pulisic or Werner plus cash.
De Ligt what? Yes, but the thing is, Chelsea need a center back, right? They just lost their best one, and
they lost Christensen.
So the original deal was, we'll trade De Ligt for Werner, and Juventus said no, thank you.
No, that'd be Juventus said okay. I was going to say
yes. Juventus said
Juve has to be looking at Werner going over the last 2 years, going, what?
Yeah.
Why?
And this is just what I'm hearing. Then Juventus came back and said, we'll do De Ligt for Pulisic. And they said, well, what about Ziyech? They said, nope, Pulisic. That's it. That's all we want. We don't want Ziyech. We don't want Werner. De Ligt for Pulisic we'll go with. But I was looking over their team, and that would be a half-decent move for Pulisic if Chiesa didn't play on the left so goddamn much.
Yeah.
That is what scares me, unless they plan to play him as a CAM or as a right winger, a right attacking wide player. I mean, he can do that. He's a great crosser of the ball, so he could pull off that side.
And he's definitely laced a shot with his left too. So,
but they also have the guy who plays on the right wing a lot, and right wing back that you have. He's got the fluffy hair. He looks a little like McKennie. God damn it.
I know who you're talking about too. But
starts with a C.
It does start with a C.
Fucking
God damn it. I would bother looking it up, but Jesus Christ.
Man, I'd be horrible at Trivial Pursuit right now. Really bad.
Quadrado.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chambers, for never mind. Thank you, C.
Right. Man, thank God we can rely on our crowd to have a memory since I'm old. You don't have that excuse. You're younger than me. You should have better memory now.
I'm at a stage, like I got 2 young kids, and they make young kids make you dumb.
And you don't sleep a lot either.
Haven't slept for a week, so that
Yeah.
definitely factors into it.
I mean, you got naps in, but nothing substantial.
Yeah, like little small snippets of naps. Yep, absolutely.
So if you're considering having kids out there, just a heads up. Kids are a lot of work. You don't get a lot of sleep. I think the first 10 years of my marriage, I slept about 4 hours to 5 hours a night at best. And less than that when it was a baby. So then you get no sleep. That's it. Because the baby will cry. You will wake up. Somebody's got to get up and burp it. You take turns and all that shit. But guess what? You got to learn how to go back to sleep. And if you're not one of those people that can get up, do some shit, and then come back to bed and go back to sleep, then you're fucked. You're just going to sit up thinking about, oh, what do I got going on at work tomorrow? Let me start thinking about that shit.
I am the type of person. See, now I'm the type of person that would just immediately go back to sleep. My head hits the pillow, I'm out.
Yeah.
So that's why I always, for the most part, I always got up with the kids when they started screaming in the middle of the night.
Yeah, I was at the time of that happening. I was running one of the biggest educational nonprofits in the country, and my mind was business. That's where my brain was so much of the time. So it was hard when I woke up not to start thinking of Mike Hunt again. Speaking of kids, had to turn you guys off and rush the kids to bed because of the blow-up doll. Well, blame that on Chris Gary.
So jumping back to Pulisic here.
Yeah, go ahead.
So assuming that they end up taking Werner, which again I can't imagine them doing so.
I don't think they want him.
I'm just saying. Let's assume that maybe they take Werner, Ziyech plus cash.
Well, that would make an ass out of them.
Yeah. No, they would get ripped by their fans and media.
Yeah, they don't need Werner.
So let's say that happens and Pulisic stays. The interesting aspect is that as of right now, and they're talking about competing with for Bellingham from Dortmund. I don't think they're going to. I mean, Dortmund's asking for like $100 million for him, man.
Yeah, it's too much.
I don't think that's going to happen.
Juventus doesn't have that much money to spray against the wall.
No, not Juventus. Chelsea.
Oh, you're talking about Chelsea. My bad. Okay.
Yeah, back to Chelsea here.
All right.
And God, I'm gonna butcher.
There's no way.
Other kid's name.
They've already got Rafinha, and they've gotten. No, there's just no way. They got Raheem Sterling. They don't need Bellingham too. That's crazy.
Different positions, but still.
They're all wide players. They're wide players.
Doesn't Bellingham play central for Dortmund?
He may have, because they play him all over the place, but he's a quick kid who in Chelsea's system would end up having to play out wide. My whole problem with this is, why are all these Chelsea fans so happy about this shit? I mean, you just got Ziyech. You just got Werner. Can you not give them more than a couple seasons to figure this shit out? Or are they just already determined that they're shit?
I guess. In fairness, so when you bounce to a big team, a massive team, you don't necessarily have the leeway of figuring shit out. So
okay,
maybe,
I get that, but they just won a Champions League a year ago.
Yeah, not on the back of Werner. Maybe Ziyech, but
yeah, but certainly not Lukaku. Wasn't there when they won it.
Sure, and Lukaku's gone too, though. He wasn't very happy with the situation, and he got transferred back out.
I'm going to look Bellingham up on the transfer market because I've seen him play multiple positions for Dortmund over the season. And maybe he just has the freedom to roam. Maybe he's more of the CAM guy in the CM6 situation, in the 6-6 situation, if they play a 4-3-3. I don't know. I'm going to have to go back and look at that. But
Bellingham is a center mid who generally plays central. He does play wide, but I mean, right midfield, left midfield. Not the right wing, left wing.
Not the right wing, left mid. But I know I've seen him out wide this season for Dortmund, but not maybe as quote unquote
not as McKinney plays for the U.S. men's national team.
Not as a winger, but maybe as a right or left midfielder. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's overlapping in that case. All right.
Yeah.
I get it. All right. So He's not a winger.
But with Lukaku's exit, and I'm assuming that maybe they're trying to shop Werner out of there. There are not a lot of 9 options, not a lot of striker options for Chelsea. Do you think possibly that Tuchel experimented enough towards the end of the season, having Pulisic play more of a false 9?
He might do that. He also might be happy with the German kid playing
Havertz?
Center forward. Yeah, Havertz played a lot of center forward.
Maybe I'm just saying maybe that's the 2 options there at that point. Because all indications, all the reports, people are saying that Tuchel holds Pulisic higher than Werner and Ziyech at this point.
Yeah,
but I guess if an offer comes and maybe they take Juve up on this because they need somebody to replace Rudiger
badly.
Yeah. Badly. No. What are you talking about? They got Matt Miazga. They're good. You don't need to even worry about sitting him on another loan.
A guy who can start,
buddy,
for the worst team in Spain. All right. Matt's career is going down the shit burner real quick. I mean, it's not good. He needs to find.
It's definitely a sign for people not necessarily picking the big club and not being a journeyman loan player.
Yep.
Because I feel like being loaned like that means that you're just not going to be offered the opportunities as much as people who are signed full time there.
You're a temporary secretary. You're not full time. So that's bad already. Starting from there, they don't know if you're going to be coming back next season. They barely gave him a chance to prove he should coming back next season, or they should buy him. They didn't give him a shot. They played the 2 same fucking shitty center backs all season, got their ass kicked all season, and still didn't go. You know what?
Again, it was so strange, though, because when Miazga was playing at the beginning of the season, I thought he played pretty well.
Yes.
And then he got benched, and then all of a sudden...
Well, he didn't get benched. The guy that was injured came back, and he lost his spot, and then he never got another fucking shot again.
That just means he got benched.
I mean, he did get benched, but I'm just giving you the reason why he got benched. Because actually they did a lot better at the beginning of the season than they did, and they knew they were getting relegated. I mean...
God, I just remember that game against Atletico Madrid, and they ended up beating them. Yes, and it was just
early though.
It was a nonstop barrage of basically lobbed balls, and Miazga and forgot the other center back guy.
Yeah, me too.
Just constantly going
boogoo out, boogoo out. Yeah, I mean it's sad. I think Matt's he must be doing something wrong, because when he went to France, they made him the scapegoat. They didn't make him a scapegoat at Alves. They just didn't fucking play him.
Yeah.
So reports show that Chelsea rate Miazga head and shoulders above Diego Lainez. Those were the golden days for Matt Miazga.
That was so good. I love that moment.
I always thought there were some people who were like, oh, he's kind of a dick.
Hey, he shouldn't have done that. I'm like, fuck off. That was great.
It's shortism. I'm like, what?
Yeah. I loved it when they said that. Shortism.
He was basically saying to the kid, this is how big I am. This is how big you are. Get out of my face. Because your head is about where my cock area is. That's what he was saying. He said, get off. Don't even come at me. Don't come at me. So, Diego Lainez. We don't have time to talk about him. I mean, his whole European career has been a complete disaster. So I'm sure that he's probably pretty disappointed with that trip, just like Miazga has been. So, but realistically, do you really think the American owner of Chelsea is going to let go of his little American jewel? But at the same time, how much is he paying attention to these picks? And does he realize all the people he's bringing in are actual direct competitors to Pulisic for those attacking spots?
Competition makes you stronger.
Well, honestly, I don't know how much better a player that Rafinha and Sterling are than Ziyech and Werner. They might go into Chelsea and struggle under the weight of that pressure just as much as Werner, who was really considered at one point one of the best attacking players in the world before he got there. And Ziyech was considered one of the top prospects out of Ajax. And both of them went there and just didn't really happen for him. So, but you could say that for Pulisic. I guess most people make the excuse, yeah, but Pulisic was injured a lot. So that's different. And Tuchel really likes Pulisic, where he's kind of like, Ziyech, eh.
So
You know?
I read somewhere that the new owners basically have granted Chelsea scouting team and Tuchel like $200 million.
Who did?
The ownership did.
Okay.
The new ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Saying, hey, go find the players you need. And I'm pretty positive that they also mentioned Sterling as one of the players they need to pick up. But I was looking at the math and stuff like that. And like the couple players they brought in, if they brought in Rafinha and Sterling, they're already using half of that right there.
Yeah.
And
well,
I mean, it's just at that point you're looking. They need to shore up the defense.
that's what everybody's. George Benson screaming from the hills.
Yeah.
Defense.
So,
what about the defense?
We'll just outscore the teams.
But I mean, at least we can scratch Neymar and Ronaldo off of his list. And it really pissed me off when he did a show where he's like, yeah, Neymar, you'd be no, fuck Neymar. He's not a Chelsea type player. He's not a Tuchel type player. He's not going to work hard for you.
Was Tuchel coaching at PSG when Neymar was there? Or was that afterward? Did he come afterwards?
During.
Oh, then that's not going to happen.
So, I don't think that's going to happen because one of the complaints a lot of people had under Tuchel's system is it requires your attacking players to press and play a lot of defense too, and give a lot of effort. He wants effort 100% of the time. So he doesn't want guys that lollygag around. And Neymar's a lollygagger. Let's be really honest here. I mean, he's a great player. He's very skilled. He's, very technical, great offensive attacking player, but he's a lollygagger. And Ronaldo, why would you want Ronaldo? Maybe to play center forward? But, I mean, you got enough wingers at this point or attacking players.
How much would he fucking cost, though, at this point?
It would be a discount at this point. I mean,
I don't know.
The dude's aged,
Yeah, but he's still his top scorer for Man U, despite the fact that they had a shit season.
Yeah, that team still.
I mean,
I
don't even. I'm curious. I'm gonna pull it up here.
I cannot believe how much money Man U have spent in the last 4 years to continue to be as bad as they have been. And you remember the teams of old, the old Manchester United teams? What were they made up of? The core of it were some of the best English players ever during that era, the 90s, the 2000s. You got the Giggs, you got the Beckhams. They're British players in general. There's obviously some of them are from Wales too. I mean, yes, you had the occasional flamboyant French player that they'd bring in, but in general, a lot of the core part of the team, people will remember, were English players. They just don't have those superstar English players on Man United anymore. Not superstars, not like Beckham, not like Giggsy, So, yeah. Anyhow, so I don't. My thought. I think if the new owner has anything to say about it, I don't think he's going to accept a Pulisic for the Lick deal. I don't think he's going to do it.
Well, and I think that's the only way he's going to be. He's going to get transferred. Is if it is something like that.
Yeah, I don't.
Because I mean, again, I think Tuchel rates him high enough that he wants him on the squad. I don't think the American owner wants to get rid of the American Golden Boy right now.
There have been way more rumors about Ziyech and Werner leaving than Pulisic leaving. I mean, I haven't heard. I mean, the only thing I hear is in the American press with Stevie Nicol saying, he's got to get out of there. He's got to get out of there.
Get out of there, yeah.
But then he kind of he kind of doubled back and said, well, yeah, maybe he should just stay through at least the World Cup because he's probably going to still get minutes. But if Ziyech and Werner are there with Rafinha and Sterling and Pulisic, then I'm getting the fuck out of there for sure.
Yeah, it's just to Steve's point, it was if the club is going out and buying or transferring in these players and they're competing for your spot, then there's something that's not being said behind closed doors. At that point, you've got to make the move.
Yeah.
It would sound like if they're bringing in multiple players to fill in potentially your spots, then it would be and nobody else is leaving. Then your position. I guess people would have to leave because that was just too overcrowded for the two wing spots. Unless Tuchel plays Pulisic as a wingback again.
Well, they are going to be in all the cups and then the Champions League again. And, I don't know how much depth you need, but that's a lot of depth. That's a lot of good players. That's some people sit and pine unless you got them on a real rotation and you're honest with them at the beginning of the season. You say it's going to be a rotation all season. So, yep.
Omar, we definitely do because he didn't really play much.
Hudson-Odoi's still there. Mason Mount can play in one of those wide positions on occasion, if need be, or the CAM role, but he also plays CM, so Mason Mount. I just hope Chelsea fans don't forget that they just won a Champions League a season ago. And a lot of the players on this current team, who's to say that Lukaku wasn't the one who ruined this whole team in the locker room and otherwise? Maybe that's not the issue. So maybe the issue's in the midfield, maybe the issue's in the defense or out wide, or though it shouldn't be. But of course, Chilwell was injured almost the whole season. What if Chilwell played the whole season? Yeah. Would Chelsea have been significantly better? I think they would have been, honestly. By the way, Chilwell's a really good, he's pals with Pulisic. They're really close, apparently. Mm-hmm. And speaking of people close to Pulisic, I heard Hoppy and Pulisic were in Florida together playing in a street soccer tournament. That's crazy.
I didn't know Pulisic was part of that. I watched Hoppy's got some clips of some street soccer stuff on
maybe they weren't there
Instagram.
Maybe they weren't there to play. Maybe they were there to do a little showing off.
I think Hoppy actually played. I watched some clips on his YouTube or his Instagram.
I think he played with his dad.
Also, speaking of people who are friends with Hoppy and Pulisic, check this out.
Oh, fuck.
Look at that outfit.
Is it? Yeah, that's that 80s shit.
Well, and it's a thing, and I don't know what the point of it is because there's another player on Norwich Timeline that has the Canary magazine here, and it's holding out. It's talking about like a team from like the 70s or 80s or whatever, probably the 80s, given the look of the jacket.
That is.
So I don't know if it's some promo for some thing or whatever, but that is a horrendous jacket.
I was just wondering what it was, and it looks like something from the 1980s Olympics.
Well, and my response to it was I didn't know that Josh's dad also played for Norwich back in the 80s.
His dad doesn't look anything like him, actually. Looks a lot like his mom. Anyhow, I've seen pictures. All right, so the other thing. I was about to
crack the joke, but I didn't.
Sure I know where you were going with that, but that was a good stoppage point. Yes, especially as somebody who worked at Stonebell. All right. So Poppy, I can confirm through my contacts who are reliable and have been, except for once, that his agent is actively working to get him onto another team, and that he's not happy where he's at.
So, yeah, well, that's good.
Yes. So it's good news. It's good news.
A lot of people with the same thought process. That jacket got relegated a long time ago. It's a relegated jacket.
Yes, it is.
Plato threw up. So I think Brian's asking you right now, is it a loan or a move?
It's going to be a loan more than likely.
I'm sure Hoppy would just be happy with either.
And it's no use complaining to the American owners, or though I still think people should complain to the San Francisco 49ers owner. You should. I'd say let them have it on Twitter for fucking Hoppy over the entire season. But I've been told that guy is totally hands off. He's got his brain is in the San Francisco 49ers. He just bought the team for Moolah, basically. And by the way, Stuart Holden has no involvement whatsoever as a minor owner.
Still tag him in the
But tag him anyhow. Yeah, bug him. Just bug him. What are you doing to Hoppy? You better let his fucking ass go on a loan. The rumor to Paris FC were unfounded. It was just they weren't offering quite what he wanted. And his agent will also be working on a guaranteed playing time clause to be put in there wherever he goes. But Paris FC, man, they're buying. They got to the Ligue 2, and they are fucking buying players everywhere. They are really planning with their big Paris thing to get up into Ligue 1 and start competing. They want to Hoffenheim this shit. That's what they want to do. They want to come from nowhere and all of a sudden become a top Ligue 1 team. And not just in the way others are doing it, where they slowly build and whatever. They're going to pour fucking money, straight up cash dough into that team. And that's what they're doing. So we'll see what happens with Paris FC. I actually like that team already because they're Paris FC. They're not Paris Saint-Germain, who just buy up all the other, players from other teams. Okay. I think we're done with Pulisic for now. That doesn't mean you should leave. But do we have other comments? I know we had.
I've got other comments. I didn't know if you had any more rumors besides the Hoppy at the end.
Let me see here. Did we talk about Christopher Scott going to Royal Antwerp to join Vines?
Nope.
Okay, so
you should probably specify who Christopher Scott is first, because I'm sure
Christopher
there's a number
Scott
of people who don't know him.
Was a Bayern 2 player. I think he's like 20 years old, and he was sold to Royal Antwerp for $1.54 million from Bayern 2. He was a regular attacking style player for Bayern 2. Never made the big boy team really, and probably had no chance of getting there. And he has an American father, and so he is eligible, though no one spoke 2 words about that to him, or nor has he ever spoke of it. So there we go. Christopher Scott. We'll watch him play with Vines next season, see how that goes for him. Mm-hmm. But that's a big buy. And by the way, Takumi Minamino is not going to leave. So Jesse's not going to have that to deal with. So,
I thought you were just making up a name there.
No, he's a Japanese player. He was at Liverpool and he never really got to play. So, and he was injured sometimes, but he just didn't get to play because they're just stacked. Sure. I don't think they need him. But that's kind of sad when it was a big deal when he came from Germany to Liverpool. And I guess sometimes players just don't work out, right? So
happens.
Didn't work out. We've seen it happen so many times over the last 20 years. Just players you think, oh yeah, that's going to work out. And then it doesn't. But then there's some that go and you're like, yeah, that's not going to work out. And you just know it. Like Johnson to Fulham. I think all of us knew it's probably not going to work out. Mm-hmm. Dempsey, I think all of us knew that's working, period. That guy he's going to kill it. So, but not everybody does work out, and that's how this works, unfortunately. Right. Oh, by the way, that Maxwell guy who did the stop rebranding all the fucking he was picking on Juventus and Inter.
Rightfully so.
All the people who are changing their logos and their brands and simplifying it. I do like the fact that at the very end of the segment, he said, and the worst fucking rebrand ever, Major League Soccer. How do you even get away with a brand logo being that fucking bad? And he is totally right. It is the worst logo ever.
Well, I thought the whole thing was rebranding.
They rebranded MLS.
Oh,
now,
yeah,
the old
right.
MLS logo sucked. It was a big foot with a ball next to it.
Yeah.
All right. That said MLS. It was shit. It was garbage. And then they did more. They just said, let's go from garbage to fucking complete garbage with like somebody who made something on paint. I'm serious, dude. I could put a fucking airbrush in my mouth and make something better than that. And it would be abstract art. I mean, it's just the people they hire to do this stuff, it's just amazing. And then they put out like a 2-page explanation about what every line and every color and whatever bullshit they came up with to describe why this is a good badge. No, your badge sucks, dude. Your badge sucks. It sucks so hard.
It is fascinating that somebody actually got paid for that.
And then what about your own team, Chicago? Those fuckwads with that.
Hey,
what's
much
that?
better now. What are you talking about?
They fixed it, but boy, that shit in the middle, that was horrible. How about when Leeds came up with their new badge and it was some guy standing there doing this? That was going to be their badge. And Leeds fans went fucking berserk and stopped it from happening. I have to say, one thing I am extremely proud of that we all had input in is the Indy 11 logo. It's badass. It's exactly what we asked for. And they got it done with somebody who was skilled and talented, and they took the time to get it right. And they went through stages, several stages. It wasn't just like, here it is. They went, here's our first idea. Okay, how about this? But the whole having Lady Victory in there, that was straight up us. That was BYB.
The checkered print was also us.
Yep. The checkered print. The only thing that wasn't us was the name of the team.
Yep, pretty much.
They sideswiped us on that one. Well, they didn't. They brought us in like 2 weeks before the announcement and told us.
Yeah, they explained why.
Yep. They gave a big, long list of why, and we actually agreed with a lot of it. So,
yeah, sure, why not?
And it was actually, 11 was also the year that the Brickyard Battalion was founded. So they wanted to honor us. They also wanted to honor the 11th Regiment in the Civil War, the Indiana Regiment. And then Ben-Hur won 11 Academy Awards. I mean, there's some really weird shit they're working into there. But I'm like, okay, Ben-Hur? Well, okay.
Spinal Tap cranked it up to 11, the usual.
Because the author of Ben-Hur was also the regimental commander of the 11th Zouaves, Indiana Zouaves. So, yeah, there's all these weird-ass 11 tie. The way Peter Wilt explained it, the first lunch we ever had, I was just like, dude, do you get high? I'm pretty sure you get high because that's pretty crazy. It's a weird way to get to 11.
Yeah.
All right. Brett, the winner.
Hold on real quick before we jump into that, guys. I want to say, we're getting into our questions here at the end. We had 100, as far as I saw, we had 102 people in here. That's awesome for a Thursday show. Make sure you're liking the show.
Subscribe because people are getting unsubscribed.
And also make sure to leave that comment in the comment section below.
My other account had to resubscribe last week. So be careful you check because they're doing that shit again. It's fucking pissing me off. So make sure that you haven't been accidentally unsubscribed. I thought it was just for the 11 players on the field. So, yeah, no, it wasn't. That was like the last thing on the list. It was crazy.
That was the running gag that everybody else in the league went with.
So here's the fucking funniest thing, though. So the day we announced the name on the circle in downtown Indianapolis, and Ursula was supposed to pull the cord and reveal the large shirt with the name of the team and the logo on it. So Pete and I, Peter Wilt and I were there talking to him prior, and we had the list, and he was supposed to read off the explanation for why the team's name was going to be what it was without naming the team name. Okay. And it would have explained it to people. And he didn't read a single fucking thing we gave him. He just went up there and said, now introducing the new fucking unit. Boom! Indy 11. And everybody there just stood at each other and looked at each other like, what? Except for me. I already knew what the team name was going to be at that point. And everybody's like, what the? And remember the poll in the newspaper, the Indy 11 or Indy Star the next day? Yeah. Do you like the new name of the Indy 11? And it was like only 27% liked it. And everybody else fucking hated it.
Yeah.
So we went ahead.
Well, again,
we had to go on a campaign to fix that with the supporters and the newspaper and everybody. Yeah. It was crazy.
Well, to just Alex's point, a lot of people thought that was the reason they're called Indy 11 was because of the 11 people on the field.
Yeah, but Ursula didn't exactly. He didn't explain it. So at the announcement, Maybe he was busy. Maybe there's a big Keystone Corporation deal that was going to happen that night, and that's where his brain was. But it's like we spent 10 minutes with him saying, yeah, make sure you say these things. They're really important. Because he's Turkish American, right? He's an immigrant. So he doesn't know that much about the Civil War. So we explained it to him, who the 11th Regiment Zouaves were. They were just right over the head. All right. But he could have read the script. That would have worked just fine. Nothing against Ursel. Love the guy. I'm torn on if Puli should stay or go. Should he stay or should he go now? All right. Would love for we're gonna get copyright for that. I know I'm saying it in a lower register. Would love for him to fight and compete at an elite EPO club, but there are two very good teams that may be interested, and he could get more time. And if he takes the team to the next level, his stock will go up even more. Like he could go back to Germany, or he could play for like West Ham, Everton, maybe. They just lost one of their best players. Maybe they go after and spend some real big cash. I don't know.
After their hell of a good season, they may need to find some good players.
Yeah, they barely survived relegation. Everton for the first time, and for the longest time I can remember. I can't even remember a time they faced that battle at the end.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's happened, but how far back do you want me to go back? And on the question side, how do you feel about Mexico being eliminated from the U20 tournament? That's how I feel about it. Oh boy!
It threw me for a loop because I was like, oh look, that's right, the games were last night. I went back and looked, and like this shows that Guatemala beat them in PKs.
I know, and I really like when you go to the highlights video for the game. It's like 3 minutes long. It's just the PKs.
I watched the highlight, and I still didn't believe it. I'm like, there's no way that's real.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, absolutely hysterical. We all got to laugh.
It does show future troubles for sure. It does show future struggles. There's no doubt about it. But
I wonder if they're going to make any big changes.
I mean, look how old their team is right now. It's full of old people. So, yes, I think if I'm a Mexican fan, I'm very concerned.
Mm-hmm.
And believe me, I'm the kind of guy that in the World Cup, if the United States is out and Mexico's still in, I would be rooting for Mexico. I'd be rooting for CONCACAF teams. That's how I am. That's how I roll. And maybe that's just because I want CONCACAF to get better because it makes us better, right? Derek, I disagree with your take on the Olympics. We need more eyeballs on U.S. men's national team in general. And the Olympics is good both for competition and exposure to the world. I'll give you competition. It does expose a lot of these U20 players if they end up going to the Olympics, but it's not going to be U20s. It's going to be U23s plus 3 guys over the age of 23.
Well, it's going to be this group of age kids,
No, it's not. It's not going to be U20s. It's a U23 tournament, the Olympics. So a lot of these kids are not going to make that team. They're not. They're going to pick older players. Some of them will make it.
I'd be surprised. My thought process on the Olympics itself, quite frankly, is again, I'm not a player that can play for it by any means, and I understand that maybe Pulisic or as an older player or whatever, Yudis Musa, Reina may want to play in the Olympics. But my thought process as a fan is I would much rather send a group of kids like this U20 team. Let's just say, use them as an example. Kids that are partially part professionals, but are competing to get noticed. I'd much rather send them
slaughtered. They're going to get slaughtered by the U23 European teams.
Who cares?
Here's why I don't care. I don't care because I don't think there's a very large group at this U20 team we've been watching. They're going to amount to fucking much more than a very good MLS player.
Sure.
Prove me wrong. I haven't seen it. Maybe Luna. And he's got a long way to go. Aronson. All right. I'm not seeing a lot of guys that, rub my balls the right way. So I just think that's the problem here. And I don't think I would send guys. I'd send our U23 team. That's what I would send. I'd put Pomacall on there. I'd put guys that, need the exposure. at this point to get out of where they are. Cervania, they're guys, you could put Ferreira on that team. But, at some point, you're going to have to cut off the above 23 players. So you're going to have to be real selective about who you pick. But I don't think sending a U20 team to a U23 tournament sounds like a good idea.
Well, I mean, those kids wouldn't be U20s at that point anymore. I mean, that's not like the Olympics is this summer or next summer.
2 years off?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they'll be in their 2021s. I guess it makes sense. So a lot of them probably will or may make the team. They'll be older. They'll be 21 years old. So it's possible.
Mike brings up a great point here. Last time we made the Olympics, Brian McBride was on the roster at 36.
Yeah, they're going to pick a few old guys to go. There's no doubt about a few U23s. That would be my guess. But as far as the Olympics being like an exposure to the world and getting lots of like casual fans to watch, maybe.
Well, the exposure to the rest of the world would be more, again, if you're a player like Paxton Aronson or Aronson's.
Yeah. Paxton.
Like him, where you're going to get exposure to more, more people are going to be keeping an eye on him, type of thing. That type of an exposure. Although they've already talked about how like Salzburg is looking to replace Aronson with Aronson.
And that's no surprise because they're about replications of one another. Mm-hmm. But Paxton needs to play regularly for Philadelphia. I mean, that needs to happen and start happening.
They probably could have used him last night against Chicago.
Yeah, you guys won, didn't you?
Yeah, we finally won a game. Look at that.
It was like 1-0.
Yeah, it should have been a whole hell of a lot more, but whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Like how GG starts off his PowerPoint presentations. This is how we change the worldview of U.S. soccer. I really don't give a fuck what the worldview is of U.S. soccer. I really don't. I don't care what anybody thinks about U.S. soccer. I just care about, are we making progress? Are we doing better? And are we winning games? Are we qualifying for World Cups and getting out of the group stage and competing? That's all I care about.
Well,
I don't. If English fans want to think we suck, they can suck my dick because I don't care.
Yeah.
All right.
But here's a prime example. I mean, we're making strides. We're progressing forward.
Yes.
We have McKinney playing at Juventus.
Yes.
So guess what? The Juventus press, not Juventus press, but the Italian press and a lot of Juve fans don't rate him and say that he's trash and that he needs to go away. At best, he's a below-average midfielder.
Well, I don't want to. Listen, that's two things, right? One, he's American, and two, he's African American. Hate to say it, a lot of racists in Italy. I visited.
But yeah, I'm just saying though that the whole concept of how the world views U.S. soccer, U.S. could win the next World Cup, and there'll be mountains of foreign press saying like, "Well, U.S. got lucky because they got this easy path to the finals."
Well, and they're also pissed off that the U.S. qualified for the World Cup and they didn't again, and that's on them. That's their fault. So all I can say to Italian fan or Juventus fans in Italy who hate or dislike or don't think McKennie's a good player, then you just failed to watch last season.
Or the
That's
season
all
before.
I said. Yep. I think Pulisic should stay. I think I'm kind of with you, Chris, especially if Ziyech and Werner go. He always ends up proving himself when given a string of games, and then he gets injured. Yeah. Ziyech and Timo are all linked with a move. I know Ziyech wants on bad, and if they go, Pulisic has a bigger chance to get a lot of minutes. And frankly, I don't think, in my personal opinion, I watched a lot of Leeds games last season because Jesse was there. I am not that impressed by Rafinha. I'm just not. I don't think he's that. I think he's good, but I think he's not that. I don't think he's better than Timo Werner. I think they're like at the same level. I think that's like a same-ish sort of. And then, is Rafinha going to be ready for that kind of big-time pressure? I don't know. Pulisic has a bigger chance to get a lot of minutes. Who scores more Bundesliga goals for Qatar? Before Qatar, Pifak or Pepi? Pifak.
He'll play more.
He'll play more.
Sheer numbers alone.
Yeah, and I think Pepi, I don't care how many goals he gets against a 5th division German team, that's not going to bring your confidence back right away.
And I'm spacing where Union ended last season, but is Union Berlin a better team than Augsburg, aren't they?
Yes.
Augsburg was fighting for against relegation.
They barely survived.
So.
Yes. Not that Union Berlin is a historically great team. They're not. But the Berlin teams are trying. They're putting some effort into this. Nez and Argo. Aren't expected goals more important these days? Yeah, fuck that. Fuck EP. Yeah, you're right, man. It's just bullshit. I can't wait for another fun stream. Always a bunch of laughs. I wouldn't be opposed to Pulisic staying at Chelsea until after the World Cup. That is kind of where Stevie came around to. He'll get a good amount of minutes and will be more likely to stay healthy, which is very important. And I really do think Tuchel values Pulisic. Maybe more as a bench player coming off for the last 20 minutes to burn out a tired defense. But why is my mom calling me at 9:30 at night? That is quite odd. All right, I've already talked.
Your bedtime, Derek.
Get to bed, Derek. All right. However, Chelsea's The Athletic reporter Stuart Clark said Pulisic has been linked to Juventus, obviously in a swap deal for Delic. He's been linked to Roma, admired by Jose. Oh, I don't want him going anywhere near Jose. That is one grumbly motherfucker. Barcelona, Sevilla, and Inter. I don't know. That's a lot of fucking links. And that's why the thing is you got to kind of wait for this to simmer out.
Yeah.
CFC won't sell him to a EPL club unless they aren't in the top 6.
Or unless the bid is just crazy.
Maybe not. That's true. But I think he'll stay. I think Werner is out and Ziyech are out. So I think those now if they're not out, then he needs to get the fuck out. It's between the 3 of them. 2 of them got to go. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But the Juventus Athletic USA reporter Norma Swat said that Allegri sees Pulisic as a top transfer target. Okay. I don't know about that Athletic reporter. But Norma Swat. Samuel Cutsafart. Who is the biggest move that might affect the U.S. roster? For me, it's Timu Piku. If he leaves, will we see Sargent playing as a striker? Yes,
possibly.
I think we will.
I'm just saying. In EPL, when they played 2 strikers, they played Ida before they played Sargent.
But he got a few chances.
He did. I'm just saying. I guess it depends on the formation that they end up playing.
They were just weak out on wide players, so they had to play somebody out there. And Sargent was good at playing defense.
Yeah,
he could play that right midfielder role and play on the attack as a right winger and play on defense as a right mid.
Oddly enough, not oddly enough, I guess, but Norwich played more or less a 4-3-3 for the bulk of the season. I thought their better games happened when they played with 2 strikers. So when they play like the 4-2-2-2 or the 4-4-2 standard, I thought they looked much better. But with Piku possibly leaving, I guess again it just depends on how the formation they play, or unless Sargent overly impresses after he got healthy again.
Isn't his name spelled Peeku? Piku? I don't know. Anyhow, also don't sit on Conrad. Ooh. I gotta sit on him.
It's Pookie.
Pookie, yeah. It's Pukki. Yeah. He got the U and the I switched around. I knew something wasn't right about it.
Yeah, something sounded really weird with that.
Yeah, it wasn't working.
With it.
I read it and I'm like, that doesn't sound right. Also, don't sit on Conrad. I'm not gonna sit on him. But if he starts the season well, he is the best available depth at left wing. I think the wings are pretty goddamn full right now. So somebody's going to have to get injured. You got Reyna, Aronson, Pulisic, potentially
Morris, Areola,
Weah. There's a lot of fuckers.
I'm just saying, if Conrad, so all the reports I've seen talking about like a resurgence of interest from Conrad for actually playing actually playing for the club. He had that whole attitude issue.
Yeah, his coach called him a lazy player.
So, but if he comes out and he does well at the beginning of the season, I mean, it wouldn't be out of the question for for Morris or Areola to get sidelined for that?
I think his chances, based on what I know from Greg, are about this small. All right? That's about the size of the biggest clitoris you've ever seen. That's it. I think that's his chances. That's it. It's not, there's not a lot of leeway there. He's going to have to fucking light shit on fire. That's all I'm saying.
He's got 3 months.
How many wingers do you think fucking Greg's going to bring? It's already Areola and between Morris and Areola, one of those motherfuckers have got to go because Rain is coming back. So you go.
He is healthy, so he's back to training. So yeah.
I
know the spots are filling up
quite fast. So
we'll see.
I don't know. That better be
nothing's overly set in stone, but we'll see what happens.
Be a very erect clit for him to make it. So that's all I'm saying. Should I use the technical?
All right.
Fred Baker, one of our favorites. Slow clap. Hopefully he doesn't go to Juve because fans would have to hear your fake news. Oh, our fake news, Fred. Thank you. I have forgotten more about Italian soccer than you have ever known. Oh my God, is that the stupidest, oldest trick in the book? Yeah, man. I bet you know a lot more about jerking off too. All right? Because you've done that a lot longer than us and many more times because at least we're married or have been. All right. Anyhow, I spent 10 of my first 13 years of my life in Turin. I spent a lot of my years in Germany. So what, you jerk off? Does this make you an Italian league expert? Played soccer in Italy. Oh, good. In a rec league. And had season tickets to Torino games. Oh, my God. I'm about to explode with excitement. So take a seat. I'm not going to take a seat to you, moron. All right? I'm just not going to do it. This kind of crap, like this guy thinks he's an expert, then start your own fucking show on Italian soccer, you horse ass. But nobody's going to watch your show or listen to your show because based on your tweets, you're a dick and nobody wants to watch a dick on fucking YouTube. Okay, there, I'm done.
So, yeah, a bunch of people like, LOL. Oh no, not Fred Baker. LOL. So, guys, we do know. We reply. We respond to everybody who comments on our thing. So whoever it is,
if this is specifically directed at Fred Baker, whoever Fred Baker is, we don't know. It's a mystery. I can tell you this: he's a cocksucker when he's Fred Baker, whoever he is. If any American should go to Juventus, it's Paxton Pomykal. Holy shit! Is Sam Fred Baker? This is a joke, right? All right. He has the most ball pressures. Oh, come on. Matt Miazga has way more ball pressures than any other player.
How many PSIs? Come on.
Yes, just like whip, 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 ball pressure. He has the most ball pressures in MLS. He played the 8 in a 4-4-2 in Allegri. Would love his work rate over, let's say, Wesson, who eats 20 hamburgers with Eden Hazard and Brazilian Ronaldo. God damn. He should back. I like this one, even though it's wrong. It's so funny. It's so funny because it's absolutely ridiculous, but okay. I think that, you should allow the fact that McKennie wasn't allowed to get on one of his legs for like 4 months or 3 months.
Yeah.
So you gain weight. Now, granted, should he have gone to like a low carb diet or something so he didn't fucking gain all that weight and look pudgy? I agree. He probably should have. Probably should watch his weight a little more. But you know what? He throws that weight around pretty good. Doesn't seem to slow him down much. He's a little chunky.
I think the offseason last year and then obviously his injury now has caused him on those little fluctuations. So I think once he gets back on the once he gets back out there and runs a couple sprints,
he'll be fine.
He's sharper than ever.
Yeah, he'll be fine. Now, as far as Paxton Pomykal, we've said it 1,000 times. This is he's like had one season healthy, and he played poorly last season, and he's been better this season. I have to admit, he's gotten better this season. Is he Bayern Munich and Juventus territory? No, he's Torino territory. Okay, at best.
Hey guys, let's get that trending on Twitter.
Oh no, poor
Let's do
Sam.
it.
Poor Sam. All right. Despite having many disagreements with Sam, not many.
They're not even disagreements. I mean,
they're not. You know, they're small little issues. Sam's a really good guy, so don't go too hard on him. He's a really nice person. All right, it's official. Yes, it is. He's got. I love the fact that his shirt says "We Fox." They should just drop the W and put a P on there. I don't know what We Fox is. Is that like a some sort of European Fox sports channel? I wonder what it is.
It's next level insurance.
Oh, of course it is.
All insurance. It's all only people with money nowadays.
Money managers and insurance companies. Jordan Weefock to Union Berlin. Weefox. Okay. All right. Spencer James. Can we actually get to the soccer, or will you guys ramble on and on about cum? We don't talk about cum. When's the last time we talked about cum? I don't remember talking about cum. We talk about balls. My balls. My balls specifically. Sex. What? Sex with fucking fake dolls, and we do that for like 5 seconds. Music and other stupid topics. I'm seeing that you are a real fun guy to have at the party. You're like the guy that just wants to talk about one thing, and everybody else is having a great conversation about all range of topics. Even though 80% of it might be soccer, but 20% of it isn't soccer, so you don't want to be at that party. Well, I guess go to a different party. It's all right, man. This is what we do here. We do 80% soccer and 20% bullshit. Call it what you will.
Yeah.
We don't speak for other people, motherfucker. We want to hear about soccer. Don't speak for other people. Never do that. Never be as arrogant. I never say we when I'm talking about, when I have an opinion of my own. I don't say we all think this. No, we don't all think this. So anyhow, that last comment, had me. I was okay with the front part, but that end part, we want to hear about soccer, then go fucking watch soccer on another channel where all they do is go blah, 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 blah about soccer. There are plenty of channels that do that. Just go there. Don't come here. We do life on top of soccer.
So Mike said that Spencer James is a Fred Baker alt account.
Another one? How many?
So does that mean that Sam is Spencer James?
I doubt it. There's no way Sam would say anything this stupid. And besides,
no, of course not. No.
Sam loves talking about balls, sex, and music. He's a musician. We've had many discussions with him about music. So on our show, I don't know about balls. We certainly didn't talk about cum. That's just, I don't know where you're getting that one. I don't even remember talking about cum. I mean, we do this, but that's not like, we're squirting at the wall or something.
It definitely wasn't 11 Yanks.
No, that was about 4 Yanks. All right. And that's not enough to make a whole team. Chris,
it's not the same, but we can still get that trending, guys.
Yeah. Don't leave Sam alone, man. Leave Sam alone. He gets enough hate already for people who say he's not critical enough and all that, which, there's a little truth to that, but not a lot. He's pretty critical. Anyhow, I mean, not as critical as we are. But we're assholes. All right. But we're not dicks. We're not Mr. Baker. All right. Are we about done?
Yeah, that's all. That's all, folks.
Hey, sorry, it was only an hour and 25 minutes. Jesus.
We'll be more prepared next time, guys.
We're gonna have a new intro and a new outro coming soon, based on our exploratory. This is after one of our shows. We were still filming. And we were trying to find the schedule for the next U20 game.
It was a U20 game against first team in the knockout stage.
El Salvador?
No.
No.
Starts with a G.
Not Guatemala. No.
Help us, people. Help us.
Jesus Christ, we're stupid. It's not like we just didn't watch it. It's terrible. You said it starts with a G, and I'm like, okay, Guatemala.
Guadalupe.
What?
Is it Guadalupe?
No.
Nicaragua?
Yes.
Nicaragua?
Yes. Didn't start with a G. See, you threw me for a loop.
You wouldn't have known anyways.
You would have said N. I would have gone, okay, I'm going down this, Central American countries. I would have figured it out. All right, so Nicaragua. Anyhow, what was the whole point of this?
The outro.
Oh, we're doing a new outro. And so we were looking for where is the game going to be on tomorrow. So we're recording. We're doing our recorded show. We were going to chop that part off, but we kept it because we went on the U.S. Soccer website, and guess what? The day before the match, there was no information about the game at all.
Nope.
Zero. And that's what you are, U.S. Soccer. Losers, zero, non-covering pieces of shit who don't care about anything outside of the men's team and the women's team. Otherwise, nothing else gets any coverage. What the fuck's going on? Why are you continuing?
No, I'm laughing at Big T here. Big T is posting, we don't care, and he's just spamming. We don't care. We don't care. We don't care. We don't care. So then I responded.
Oh, that's big titties.
I care. Anyway, got some other people jumping in here. I care. I care.
Big T stands for big titties.
Obese Americans.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, I remember him now. He was the guy that we lambasted last show for being. He had man boobs. I called him the moober. He's got the moobs because he's Big T. Big T.
Gotcha.
Big. Anyhow, that's no offense to any of the women watching today. We love you too. We had 2 of you on last show, or watching live show. So women, we're not that bad. We're old and we're grouchy and a little crunchy, but we're good. We're both married. Well, I was married. Brett's still married. So we love women. All right. Until the next time on the Straight Red Card, make sure you do like and subscribe and share it with your grandma. But the subscribe part is really important. Make sure you haven't been unsubscribed. Some people have been. I've been told by 2 people so far. I had to resubscribe myself.
It's fascinating when that happens.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. That's just sort of a circular thing. So it happens and then it goes away and then it comes back again. It's like kind of a disease. Anyhow, we will see you guys soon. We will be back Monday. We'll have more to talk about as far as the U20s go, right? Yes. Right? Yes.
Yeah.
We're there. And,
hopefully explain that we're in the Olympics at that point.
We might know more about Hoppy. We might know more about Pulisic by then, too. I mean, people got to get to work. This is the transfer season. It's a silly season. Anything can happen. But we're going to be here covering it until it's over and we start getting into the September window, which I'm really excited for. I want to see who Greg picks and who plays, because that's going to really determine in the end who makes the team. All right, guys. We love you. Mwah! Good night.
Do it again. Ah, fuck. And like it. That's way too many likes. I got to comment on a channel. Fuck. Oh. Yeah. That should probably do. That should probably do.
That hurt. More verticality.